It is 100% true that what you long for also longs for you. Many people who go through breakups think that their partner has forgotten them. The person they were with no longer wants them and has forgotten them. But it is not true. In my opinion, they just don't want the version of you who is desperate and needy. Instead, they want a version of you that has very high concepts of self. Now, this does not mean that they no longer desire you or don't think about you. They do all of these things, too. It is not like you are only the one who is thinking about them. They are also thinking about you. At the core level, we are all one. We are all connected, so what we feel about another reaches out to them. If we long for them, they too long for us. They are not admitting that to you right now, but they surely will if you clearly understand today's video. They will reach out to you, and there is a very high possibility that the two of you will get back together. There are people who applied this knowledge and manifested their specific person, and today's video is about one of them. This is the story of a woman who got separated from a specific person and moved to a different city. After 20 years of no contact with her partner, she all of a sudden had this desire to be with him, and she got him. I have read this story from Louise Burley's book Magic of the Mind. Louise was Neville Goddard's student, and in her book, she shared the astonishing story of Donna. Donna was deeply in love with a person. She was getting engaged to him, but they had a fight, and she broke the engagement. She moved to another city because she thought changing her surroundings and creating a distance between herself and her partner would help her to move on and would make her forget the love story they had. But it was a foolish idea for her because, when she moved to a new city, she left her family and friends behind. Not only that, she was constantly thinking about the man and their breakup. In the new city, she lost interest in making new friends. Her daily routine consisted of working and staying at home. This continued for some time and became a very dominant pattern that impressed her subconscious mind. This continued for the next 20 years, and in those 20 years, she became lonely. She loved reading books, and that was her only source of pleasure. Then one evening, while watching television, she saw news, and she got shocked because it was news of her past lover. She found out that the man she loved was attending the funeral of her wife. She found that after their breakup, he married and became a very prominent figure in society. After seeing this, all of a sudden, her emotions started running wild. For her, it felt as if she met her lover yesterday, and these 20 years had not occurred. She felt the deep love, she felt alive, she wanted to call him, but she had no guts to do so. In her mind, all the loving memories flooded. Her heart and her mind were saying to spend every moment in the thoughts of their reunion. So, she began imagining and daydreaming of being with her man. She would imagine kissing her man before leaving for work. She would daydream of being with him. After returning from work, she would imagine asking him how his day was, and she would greet him lovingly and happily. She didn't care about the external reality. She would imagine her giving love to the person she wanted to be with. She was loving him in her imagination. It was not as if she was desperate or needy, and would lock herself in the room and imagine. She would do her daily activities and just imagine lovingly being together with that man. In her imagination, she would make her partner happy. Within a few weeks, her state changed. Her previous dominant state of being lonely and sad shifted, and she became a bright and cheerful person. She would imagine going to the museum and spending lovely time with her partner. In the external reality, she started meeting friends and going on fun dinner parties. She would attend social events because she started feeling beautiful again. She didn't know where all of this would lead her, but she was cheerful. She would live in her fantasy world. She would be happy, and this continued for several months. After all those cheerful, loving months, Donna came across a picture of her man in a local newspaper. She got to know that her man was coming to her city the following week to attend a function and give a speech. After reading this, Donna's heart pounded. She thought that now she had a chance to meet him. Her mind would present her with ideas that she has to arrive early so that she can sit in the first row. She would wear a bright-colored dress so that her man would notice her on the stage. But her mind also presented her with doubts. She thought, would he recognize her after 20 years? How much had she changed? Would he remember? And if so, would there still be a trace of their love in his heart? Would he want to talk to her? Would he show any sign of recognition? Or would she be just another blurred face among hundreds of others in the audience? This negativity started popping up in her, but she recognized where her attention was moving and where her focus was going. So, she regained her focus and imagined the scenarios she wanted to occur. The entire week, she imagined herself sitting in front of him. She imagined his flushed face while he looked at her. She imagined him recognizing her. She imagined going to lunch with him. She imagined similar scenarios that were in alignment with her purpose. Then the day came, and she went to the event early. She dressed and groomed herself. The hall was empty, and she settled herself in the seat of her choice. The hall started filling up, and a man started walking with some papers towards the podium. Here, Donna's heart was beating fast. She was excited. The man came to the podium with a huge smile on his face and looked at the audience, but showed no awareness of Donna's presence. Donna was fully focused on him. She paid full attention to what he was saying, his body language, his clothes, and his gray hair. After a few minutes, when he was in the middle of the sentence, he noticed Donna and took a pause, and his face became flustered by looking at her. Donna's imaginary acts were taking place. She got stunned. She was looking at him continuously. The event got over, and everyone began to leave the hall. Suddenly someone came and touched the arm of Donna and told her that the speaker wanted to meet Donna at the back of the stage. The man was surrounded by a few people, but as soon as he saw Donna, he said, "Excuse me for a moment," and he walked towards her. The man was surprised and was glad that he had met her after so many years. He asked Donna for her card and asked where he could meet him after lunch. Donna fumbled and, while taking her card from her purse, dropped her purse on the floor, along with her lipstick, mirror, and everything else scattered in the room. She was nervous, the moment seemed frozen, and the men in the room gathered all the stuff and gave it back to Donna. Donna walked out with her man, and he got her a cab and closed the door of the cab for her. She went back to her apartment. Her eyes were glued to the telephone, and she was waiting for his call. In her mind, she started thinking that he did not know whether she was married or not, or whether she had children or not. Would he still be hurt and angry about the quarrel we had 20 years ago? Would he know how I felt for him? But the telephone rang, and the man asked her if he could come to her apartment. Donna answered, and he took a cab and came to her apartment. He walked in and asked, "Why did you go away? Why didn't you let me know where you were? I went through hell when you disappeared. But that's the past, and this is now. Tell me about you. Are you married? Have you been married? Have you any children? What have you done all these years?" Donna explained that she regrets running away. She suffered a lot in the past 20 years for her foolish act. The man reassured, "We won't look back. We will start from where we left off." The man said he never stopped wondering where she was and what she was doing all these years. "Thank God, he have found her at last." He sighed as he drew her close and held her ever so lovingly. That night, they talked long and late. The love started growing. His man asked her to promise him to come back home. The next day, his man went back to his hometown. Donna resigned from her job but stayed there for a month to assist her replacement. During this month, they used to talk on the phone every day, and then Donna returned home. His man helped her find an apartment to settle in, and they dated for 6 months. Then they had a great wedding, and they started a new life. Wonderful, isn't it? Donna manifested her love for her partner even after 20 years of no contact. She manifested him by changing her state of being and by changing her dominant feelings and assumptions. She used to imagine being with him every day. She would not become desperate or sit at home and only imagine being with him. She would enjoy her life. She would fulfill her obligations and work. In her free time, she would imagine being with her man. She would not imagine her man coming to her. She imagined already having him with her. She was truly living in the end state of having her specific person. The changed state of her is evidence of truly living from the end. You too might be manifesting something. I don't care what it is, whether it is a person or money. If you can imagine and change your state of being, then you can have it. If you imagine it and feel desperate and needy, then you push it away. If your imagination fulfills you, then you are doing it right. If your dominant thought patterns are changing and your behavior is changing, then you are doing it right. If your story about the person is changing, then you are doing it right. It is because the world is just a magical mirror reflecting all the contents that are held by you internally. Your internal world is just presenting your dominant state back to you in the form of physical reality. Your thoughts and assumptions are reflected back to you. In today's story, Donna's partner never forgot her. Even if they were in no contact for 20 years, he thought about her, tried to find her, and wanted to be with her. It was not that only Donna was thinking about her. Now, when Donna imagined being with the man, her state of being changed. She became cheerful. Her changed state made her take some actions. Her changed state made the situations work in her favor. She manifested her partner. She got back with him. She married him. This is how you achieve your goal. You don't complain, you don't react, and you don't indulge in negative thoughts. You simply move your attention towards the loving thoughts. You move your attention towards the loving imaginary acts. You change your state of being by doing this. But I have seen people become desperate and needy. They behave as if their lives depend on a specific person. They put the person on a pedestal. They forget that their person is a part of life and that they are including that person as a part of them. They forget that their state of being matters. They imagine and feel needy, desperate, and sad. That happens only because they limit themselves to the idea that nothing is possible to them. They limit themselves to ideas based on current situation. While manifesting is not about thinking about the present situation, but about thinking from the favorable situation. If Donna can do it, then you can do it too. You can manifest your specific person too. and I have made a video specifically designed to manifest a specific person. It is an affirmation tape that you just have to listen to for the next 21 days by closing your eyes and relaxing your body. You can find it by clicking on the first video that appears at the end of the screen.